I'm Diane Schaffer. I'm going to read the opening chapter of my book, Mortal Zin. Thursday, September 24th, 2009. Santa Cruz County, California. Her dog was restless. As dawn seeped through the fog, the girl unzipped a few inches of her sleeping bag. She extended an arm and caressed his fur. It was damp. A faint odor of peroxide rose from his undercoat. "Hey, Joey, it's okay." Ears cocked, nostrils twitching, the dog pointed his muzzle toward the south end of the cove, but the mist blocked the girl's view. Yesterday evening, as the fog rolled in, the sun worshippers had brushed sand from their towels and fled. The girl had settled beneath a stone ledge, a hidey hole both dry and invisible. No bums, no drunks. Seaward, the waves swooshed over boulders far out in the cove. It was low tide, very low. Good. She crawled into the open. A fish garbage stench hung heavy in the damp air. Shivering, she peeled away her jeans. The abalone poacher had vowed to provide a wetsuit so she could harvest without freezing. It was another broken promise. From her pack, she withdrew a sheathed knife and clipped it to the neck of her t-shirt, stowing scissors and a garbage bag in her back pocket. The dog whined, still focused on the south end. Like as not, he'd scented a dead animal, and he wanted at it. He'd rolled in a seal carcass last month, and it had taken weeks for the stink to fade. "Heel!" Reluctantly, the dog obeyed. She loped to the surf line. Beyond was the naked seabed, an alien planet where she was the lone explorer. Tide pools gleamed metallic. Boulders loomed black and spiky with mussels. The sand was cold and hard. Joey lagged behind, whining and pissed. Rounding a whale-sized rock, she knelt beside her meal ticket. A tiny forest of sea palms, Postelsia palmiformis. She'd been a whiz at biology. Mr. Billings had wanted her to go to college. All seaweed is algae. That's what Mr. Billings had said. But you could see why these were called palms. Each specimen gripped the sea floor stones with a holdfast, resembled a mass of tiny roots. Each tubular trunk was about a foot tall. Leaf-like blades radiated from the top of each trunk. Bracing one knee in the sand, she commenced the harvest, clipping one palm stem at a time. She imagined Mr. Billings' classroom. Last month, when school resumed, had her absence worried him? She yanked her attention back to the slippery work. Snip, snip, snip. The sack filled. Slinging it over her shoulder, she called for Joey. Gone. Inserting thumb and forefinger between her lips, she whistled again. Waiting for him, she ran her tongue over sea palm residue on her lips. Fish-flavored celery. Gotta wonder what Chef Antoine turns them into as a gourmet dish. A minute passed. Too long. If Joey was into something rotten, she'd never get to town. No one picked up a hitchhiker with a stinking dog. Back at the ledge, she stowed the harvest. With a scrap of towel, she cleaned her feet, then donned the jeans and hoodie. She whistled again. A yellow ghost dog emerged from the fog, sending a chill down her back. Then she laughed, remembering that she had bleached Joey's fur. "What is it, boy?" He swerved and yipped, backing away, begging her to follow. Drawing her knife, she followed him past boulders, driftwood, and rotting kelp. She squinted through wisps of fog, where light and shadow splintered and mixed. Nothing. Then, at the far end of the beach, something. Joey raced ahead and attacked a pale mass. Seagulls screeched as they dove for his muscle. He yipped in pain, backed away, and then he shook them off. Again he charged, snarling and biting. As the gulls swirled, she caught a glimpse of blue. Grasping a branch of driftwood, she joined the combat, her stomach clenching with every sickening thud. Wounded birds wobbled away. Others spread their wings and lifted off, hovering greedily just beyond Joey's bite. She could see it now, a man's body. Blue windbreaker, jeans, and gray tennis shoes. A bit of gray hair, a thick reddish-gray beard, bloody holes where his eyes had been. Bile rose. She knelt and retched the meager contents of her stomach. The dog leaned his warm body into hers, licking her ears and her cheek. She wrapped her arms around him, burying her face in his fur. The gulls reclaimed their prize. She struggled to her feet and scanned the cove. In a shallow tide pool, a wine-colored dinghy swayed from side to side. On its bow, MORTAL ZIN. She recognized the dinghy. She'd watched it enter the cove yesterday, guided by the man now lying dead. Where was the boy who'd come with him?